All right. So we are live, and I'm excited to be back. It's 2021. And this is our first edition of our police softball video podcast. So we're going to be going on here. I know we're live now, but we're going to give it just a quick second. And I'm happy to have my partner in crime, Joe, joining me again. And it's got a lot of great information coming your way. It's a great kickoff to the year, to the new year. For those that don't know, I just got over some COVID here not too long ago, so I'm excited to be back. Excited to be back in the mix, and to be able to get back into the softball talk along with other things that I'm trying to get back into. So today was my first day back at the gym, so I'm excited about that too. I say the gym, but did a little walking, did some exercising, so I'm excited about that. So anyway, happy to have you guys with us. We're going to be going live. We're going to do our countdown and bring Joe on and get this show on the road. Got a lot of great, exciting things to talk about. So, all right, we'll see you here in shortly. Yeah, glad to be back. 2021 edition of the Police Softball Podcast. Excited to have you guys with us. I am Trinidad, and I am really excited to be back in the swing of things. It's been a while. Had a recent little bout with COVID. Very happy that it didn't get too bad. So hey, man, I'm excited to be back in the mix. And for those of you that maybe are tuning in for the first time, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. I am Trinidad. I'm a United States Air Force veteran, a 23-year law enforcement veteran, two-time cancer survivor, franchise business owner, and a nonprofit founder. Got a wonderful organization called Shields for Kids, and we're going to be talking about them here in just a little bit. As far as police softball is concerned, I'm the coach of our San Antonio Law men's competitive softball team. I've won a couple of national titles, Chevy Wright Sportsman of the Year, Pat Hill Inspiration Award winner, and the Texas Police Athletic Foundation and PS.com Hall of Fame member. So really excited to be able to be here. I've got my partner in crime back with me again, Mr. Joe Monahan. Joe, let's bring Joe on. Okay, what's going on, brother?
What's happening? Good to be back, man.
Super happy to have you back, man. It feels great to be back in the mix, man. If you don't know, Joe Monahan is my friend. He is the coach of the Missouri Lawmen. He's a director of the Show Me Classic. Give us our dates, Joe.
It's going to be July 31st, August 1st, 2021.
Yeah. So along with today's show, we're going to have our 2021 tournaments coming up, and we'll highlight that tournament along with it. He is also the coach of the Louisville Slugger Masters division. our Masters Division coach. He's the East Conference Manager of the Year and the Texas Showdown Home Run Derby champ. So, Joe, what's been going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just waiting to get back on this podcast, man, and getting this year rolling. I'm glad it flipped to 2021, so we can get rolling on this year. Hopefully things start opening up with all these the what do you call it, vaccines and stuff like that being issued out now. I know us in St. Louis here, first responders are getting those now, and hopefully in the next couple of months things will start opening up and get back to normalcy.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you guys so much for joining us. We've got Shane joining us. I appreciate you, Shane. He says, welcome back. Always smiling. I have a lot to smile about. So I appreciate you being here, Shane. We got Stu joining us. What's up, brother? Thank you very much, man. I am happy to be back at it. Let's see here. Oh, my wife. She just had to
comment on your own podcast here, man. What's going on?
I need the ratings, man. Whatever it takes. That's the wife tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Brad Johnson, what's up? Brad says, Shane, shut up.
That's going to be a tough one. He hadn't shut up since I've known him. Nonstop.
Hey, so we got Mustache Monahan. Very nice. And Shane says that the stash is ridiculous. Way too small for his head.
Another head joke. He never shuts up, like I said.
Yeah. And Brad, your stash is legit. I like it, man. I like it. I mean, it looks good on you, man.
I appreciate that. It means a lot coming from you, Trini.
Yeah, well, I'm sincere when I say it. So let me get back up here. Put the bat away. It felt good. All right, so we're gonna have another guest on with us here just a little while. We got Jeff the Swami Blair going to be joining us here shortly. So I'm really excited to have him on the show today. One of the things I wanted to do was to be able to talk about real quickly, a little kind of a public awareness type thing. If anybody knows, I'm going to show this picture on this phone. This phone was found in a box from our Keepers of the Peace softball championships in Waxahachie, Texas. We can show it on the screen real quick. If somebody knows who this handsome young man is on this phone, we need to be able to figure out whose phone this is. It was, again, found at our Waxahachie tournament. So if anybody knows or lost a phone at our Keepers of the Peace tournament, please let us know. Hit me up, and we will get that phone to you. So one of the sucky things that came with this conference, Joe, is with our Keepers of the Peace conference that we were going to have in April. One of the things that ended up, we knew it would be a possible issue, but the COVID is really, really affecting a lot of conferences, a lot of events that are taking place. And, we ended up having to make a tough decision. And that decision was to cancel this year's conference, mainly for first responder safety. It was very important to take into consideration the new spike that's happening, the new strain, and our hotel was going to limit us to just under 300 attendees due to this COVID situation. So in the interest of first responder safety and all, we just didn't want to take a chance. And so we are going to cancel this year's tournament or this year's conference, unfortunately. It does hurt my heart because I really wanted to give a great experience to these first responders from all over the nation. But, when doing
you put a lot of time and effort into it too, and
yeah,
to have to cancel it, it's been a crazy last 12 months. I'll say that, and nothing's been normal. So
yeah, it was a tough one, man. A lot of hopes and desires to be able to bring a great experience. So, hey, there's a reason for it. End result is we're going to be moving on to next year. Looking at next year, we'll see how this goes. One of the things that is happening though is our Shields for Kids organization. We're able to have a really neat toy drive. We do that during the holidays to be able to provide for kids in need. So we've had a golf tournament where we were able to gather up some toys from these golfers, along with a little bit of a raffle. So that was able to bring in some money for our organization. We were able to go out and pick up gifts from, like, for instance, a doctor's office, Stone Oaks orthodontist. And then we were able to get some gifts from IBC, the International Bank of Commerce. They were able to gather toys for us, and they were able to give us a donation, also monetary donation. So that was awesome. And then we went from there and we gave toys to the kids in different communities that were in need. So we had these are our guys from our SA Law softball team. We got Jonathan, Drew, and Fig. These guys are all from our team. They're all on the SWAT team, and they were able to go out and help in the give to these children who live in these, monetarily challenged neighborhoods in San Antonio. So it's an awesome thing that we're able to do, along with a superhero drop that we did in conjunction with the SWAT team. So you check it out, man. They dress up as superheroes. They rappel down from the hospital rooftop, and they're able to give these kids who are staying in the hospitals a wonderful, surprise. So we have multiple costumes, got Spider-Man, Captain America. Dude, it's just a wonderful feeling to be able to provide for these kids this type of experience. And we're also able to go to the Ronald McDonald House, which is where kids go to stay for who are financially in need, and they're able to stay here, and they're able to go to their hospital appointments, and families are able to stay there. So we're able to go and drop gifts off for the children who are staying there, and also for the kids that were going to be going to their appointments and coming back. So we're able to leave them gifts. And so it's just a wonderful thing to be able to do. That all being said, we do have a golf tournament for 2021. These are the tentative dates here. This is our Shields for Kids golf tournament. It's Monday, October the 25th is the date at 10 a.m. So if you are after the World Series, if you'd like to come down, this golf course, it's called the Dominion. This is where your Spurs and other, elite type in the city, this is where a lot of them live. So it's a wonderful course. It's a wonderful facility. And we're happy to be able to have our Shields for Kids golf tournament there on October 25th. So if you're interested, I know a lot of guys are involved in the golf scene that are a part of PS.com and just in general. So if you get the opportunity, check it out. Monday, October the 25th. We're going to be solidifying those dates. And once we put that date, once we get it locked in, we'll make sure and announce it. All right. So Joe, one of the things you might notice is my shirt.
For the fallen.
For the fallen, man. This shirt is courtesy of Chad Augustine. If you guys don't know Chad, we've had him on the show along with Denny Crine. Both of those guys have played for the Fallen. And Chad plays with Code 3 and Honolulu's Finest. And if you don't know Chad, here's a little bit of what he does. I don't know whose team that was that he hit that home run against, and I don't know what pitcher that was, but he launches them.
That was a great video there of him hitting a home run. That was a legit home run. That's about 320 foot or 315 foot fences there. So,
oh yeah, that
was a bomb.
And that's at the St. Louis Show Me Classic there, man. It's not only a big field, but they got tall fences. So it's and a lot of competition. So Chad sent me this shirt, and it was awesome, Chad. I really appreciate it. And you guys don't know what For the Fallen is about. It's a nonprofit organization, and their mission is to raise awareness and provide critical programs for America's heroes. So here's a little video just real quickly to highlight that organization.
For the Fallen is a grassroots, direct impact organization managed entirely by volunteers and founded in 2011 by Armed Forces veterans Jamie Fergozo and Greg Zayas.
My name is Adam Rummel, Director of Business Development and Marketing for the Fallen. Veterans and first responders get injured in the line of duty and they need help. That's what we do.
Since 2015, For the Fallen has developed and maintained their advanced prosthetic and service dog programs to support veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty.
Freedom Innovations, like I said, specializes in lower limb prosthetics. So that's knees, ankles, and feet. I think programs like For the Fallen are critical. One of the things that we find as we work with the amputee community, general awareness programs, they don't really exist.
Our advanced prosthetic program allows them to be active again.
If you are an amputee, your dreams in life don't change. Your life goals don't change. The path to get to those goals is now different, but there's no difference in the dreams and the goals that you want to achieve.
Yeah, so when I first heard about For the Fallen, I did a little bit of research and went to the website and was blown away with some of the programs they have in place. The service dog piece of it, which was fantastic. I actually got a chance to meet with the service dogs in training at the golf tournament, which was awesome, and I know that they play a vital role in a lot of people's lives. It really resonated with me, and it's something that kind of helps support the cause and give a little bit back, as a company representing Dick's Sporting Goods.
The goal is to partner with corporations, foundations, advocacy groups, government officials, and others to create funds necessary to manage the organization's critical programs and services.
There's huge benefit and reward of being part of our organization. You get to meet the veterans, you get to see what they're all about, you get to hear their stories. It becomes real.
All funds raised go directly to support our programs.
All right. Yeah, it's a great organization. And definitely supporting our heroes out there with For the Fallen is an awesome thing. So I wanted to make sure we gave them, those that little piece just so people know, because I know I've heard of For the Fallen, I've read about them, but it was neat to be able to see that video and have a good understanding of what it is they do. So Chad, I appreciate it. Thank you so much again. Deanna, I think you had a video. Let me see. Yeah. We had a request to show it again.
Just for the record, we won that game. That was a solo home run by Chad Augustine. That was 5 of their 6 home runs were solos. So we ended up out on top on that game. But that was a nice swing.
Hey, Andy said it's good to see that we brought Dan back on.
Dan was the inspiration for this thing.
Yeah. So let's see here. Dan says it's awesome. Brad. So Brad's asking, is it a 4-man scramble and the cost? Yes, it is. And as far as the cost, we're going to be showing that on our next podcast. So we'll let you know about that. We're still going to work out those details, but we've had this tournament 2 years before. It's been a huge success. First year we sold it out like in 2 weeks. So it's a great event, and we'll definitely get those. Details to you here shortly, because we want to get you that information as quickly as possible so you guys can show up. So, all right, Manny says, "What's up, fellas? Good to see you. Love the stash, Joe."
A lot of good feedback. That's surprising. Yeah. I can't tell if it's sarcasm or not.
All right. So I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to bring on the 2021 tournaments. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring Jeff. We got Jeff, the Swami Blair, that's going to be joining us now to be able to highlight some of the next topics that we have. First, it's going to be at 2020 tournaments, but let's bring Jeff on. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey guys, good to be back.
What up, Jeff?
Dude.
So I got a mohawk now.
I see that.
Nice.
My wife's not too happy about it, so I'm going to keep it for a couple days.
What's up with that, man? You got a competition coming up? You need that for, or what's going on?
See my shirt? Newsom doesn't lift. He's shutting down all the gyms in California, but I found one. So I have to pay $200 a month, but I get to work out outside at this place called Lifetime Fitness. I think they have them all over the country, but
oh yeah,
gym. Yeah.
Lifetime Fitness is nice, man. A lot of nice stuff in there. So Jeff's in law enforcement for 31 years. He's retired as the deputy chief of the Tustin Police Department in California. He is the PS.com co-founder, 4-time Majors Division champion and 2-time Masters Division champion, and 2013 PS.com Hall of Fame. Happy to have you back, Jeff.
I did want to, you earlier you asked me if I wanted to show something. My wife made me this. I want to show my, you get a shadow box and retire. Yeah. Finally got mine done. So hold on one second.
All right. Very cool.
But I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
Yeah. Let me get down there.
From officer, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and then deputy chief in the years 1989 through 2020. So
That is sweet, man. Wow.
31 years. Yep. Now I'm done. So
Yeah,
Very
man.
nice.
And that is beautiful. And what an opportunity, what a neat thing to be able to see a retirement. You can't take that for granted, man. So many people, whether it be, in the line of duty deaths, whether it's health issues, whatever it is, ultimately, man, to be able to go that long in law enforcement is badass. So congratulations to you. And I'm happy that you and your family get to enjoy that.
thank
Awesome.
you. Yeah, I remember sitting my first day in the academy in 1989, and the instructor looks out across the room and he goes, 1, 2, maybe 3 of you out of this class of 50 are going to make it a full career. Because
Wow.
for whatever reason, the rest of you won't. People don't make it out of training and stuff. And I made it a full 31 years, no like medical stuff, nothing like that. I'm just retired now, just regular dude. So it feels
Awesome,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I saw you not too long ago lifting some good weight. So you're healthy. And I'm happy about that.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah, very nice, man. Very nice. All right. Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to get into, and I appreciate you, Lau. Thank you very much, man. I'm glad to be back. What we want to do is want to go with the 2021 tournaments. We'll throw them up on the screen and let everybody see. What we're going to do is add that to our broadcast now, is to make sure that everybody's aware of the tournaments that are coming up. Make sure we give a good awareness. And for any of you that are involved in law enforcement, that you had the opportunity to go out to any of these tournaments, let me awesome. Hey, Jeff, Joe, go ahead and highlight some of the tournaments that have been around for a while, even if you just name them and just give a little something about them. But what do you see on this list that's been out there for a while?
For me, the majority of them have been around for a while. And, it's since I've been in the circuit, it's been the, it used to be in Orlando. Now it's in Tampa. The Brian Asselton Memorial Tournament and DA Kickoff have always been the first 2 to kick off the year for the East and West Coast since I've been around. So those have been around forever. And then you got the new one that I guess we're going to get into a little more detailed is that Masters World Series and also the Single Agency World Series. Jeff, maybe you can shed some light on that. I'm sure there's not any updates to give at this point, but I guess we'll have maybe a better idea and see how the DEA kickoff goes in Palm Springs to determine what's going to happen with the Masters.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the list here. Some of these tournaments are, a lot of them been around forever, right? DEA kickoff. That's when I first started playing softball, and it's been all over the place. But like a lot of these tournaments are like Bacon Ball leftovers from when Bacon Ball was sponsoring every tournament across the board. But they survived. Like Scolo's tournament was the Bacon Ball. Joe, I believe yours was Bacon Ball. I'm not sure what else is on there. But it's good to see that the tournament is bigger than a sponsor or the money or anything like that. So I'm glad to see that those who endured are still around. And there's, if anything, maybe they're better. Maybe the prizes aren't as good or whatever like that. But man, if we were playing for prizes, none of us should be doing this because we're all cops, man. We're playing to play softball and the biggest event, best competition, the camaraderie. So I'm looking up and down this list. I mean, I wish I could go to them all, but I've been to a lot of them, I've been to Scolo's 3 times. I'm looking on here, Myrtle Beach. That's Terry's old tournament, right? Isn't that Virginia Beach, Joe?
Yeah, Virginia Beach moved to Myrtle Beach 2 years ago. They had the first tournament in Myrtle Beach. Last year it got canceled because of COVID. So this would be the second year in the last 3 that they've actually had it there in Myrtle.
So that one jumps out at me as one that I'd like to go to. The New York East Coast Championship. Now, I've been there before when Torelli hosted one. I'd love to see what the Hounds bring. I've never been to St. Louis. I've been to is Cincinnati on here? I'm not sure if I see it on there.
It is not. I don't think the dates have been set yet. Not that I didn't see them on the website at least.
So I went there when it was Dayton, and Dayton was incredible. I got, unfortunately, I got Dayton at the tail end when it wasn't what Dayton used to be. I never saw it in its glory days when, people were camped out around the ball fields to watch because there's not a whole lot going on in Dayton, right? So the citizens would come out to watch the softball tournaments. But by the time I got there, it had the interest had waned a little bit and the draw had gotten smaller. It was still quite an experience to, and the mystique that went on with Dayton and stuff. And I think that's in Cincinnati now. So there's still a lot of great tournaments out there. We just hope that, wherever you're going to play this year, COVID allows us to do so.
Yeah. I know one of the things as I go down the list is the police softball mega draft. And that's the one that Dan's going to be putting on, Dan McIntyre. And that's going to be interesting. I mean, do you guys know about the mega draft and how that works?
Yes. So I'm familiar. There's a mega draft tournament that happens across the river in Illinois every year. It's a civilian tournament. And I understand how it works. I don't know how many people are going to, I don't know how many teams worth of people are going to sign up for this. There might be 4, 6, 8 teams. I don't know. Cause I don't know what kind of feedback Dan's been getting. I haven't talked to him about it, but basically you have everyone who says, hey, I want to show up, I want to play. And you get a list of, say, 80 to 100 people that say, I want to play. And then it's literally a draft as if you were doing, MLB draft, an NBA draft, any kind of draft. And you're picking guys, you're trying to form up a team. He'll designate guys who are like, I guess, the manager or coach or whatever, and then they start selecting their team from there. And you're going to end up with 12 guys on a team, and see how it all turns out. They're fun to play in, and it's usually a good time. You're playing with guys you don't normally play with, and it's definitely a good time. And if you can get that rolling in Nashville, I think it'll be a fun one.
That's cool. Yeah. So that's neat. I know let me see if I can bring that one back on. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, you did ask about the single agency and the Masters one, because that's coming up pretty soon. And I know there's teams out of the state planning on getting there. So I do get a lot of messages like, hey, Jeff, is it going to happen or not? So I am like, guys, I don't have any inside information. I'm like you guys, man. I'm tuning into the news every day, watching what Newsom's going to do in California and what's happening in Nevada. So I don't have any inside scoop. I know Big League Dreams, man, they have been shut down for almost a year. And, I don't know the business end of what they do, but I do know, they can't, it's expensive to run those. They're huge properties, right? It's expensive. Yeah. They can't go on forever and not have teams and tournaments. One of the big hurdles for them is they make maybe most of their money off the food and drinks. So that's why we can't bring outside vendors in and whatnot, right? Like, hey, we got, somebody's going to sell hot dog. You can't do that, right? Because that's how they make their money. Well, part of the thing is, even if they open it up, they're not going to let them allow for like food and drink for whatever reason. So, I got my fingers crossed like everybody else. I do know that in Orange County, and in Southern California, vaccinations are happening everywhere. So I know there's going to be a new president and blah, blah, blah. So maybe they'll open things up. Luckily, we got till the end of March. Whatever the case is, I'm completely planning on that Masters tournament happening. I just spoke to Carlos Vega today from Elite. He's going to be on board. Yeah. I've been working with Keith Benjamin on some of the rules. I think it's going to be a blast. And I'm more excited about the Masters thing just because it's new and it's different. I'm looking at the teams, like every time a new team enters, I go, oh, they're going to win it. And then some other new team, oh, no, they're going to win it. And then I go back, the first team, oh, no, they're going to win it. So I have no clue, which is what I really like. Like when it comes to the open division, I got pretty good idea who's going to be the top couple teams, whatever. With this Masters, I have no clue as to who's going to do what.
That's exciting, man.
Agency, I'm telling you, Louisville coming in, you got these, Detroit, LAPD's splintered within 3 teams, so they can't all be on the same team, right? So I just think it's going to be awesome. So here's my obligation is, or my promise is this, it's going to happen somehow, right? So if it doesn't happen in March, and I think it's going to happen in March, fingers crossed, but if it doesn't happen in March, I'll push it back to June because I have those dates in June at West Covina. And if it doesn't happen in June, I'll push it back to October. They can't shut us down forever. Yeah. So if you've Trini, have you ever been to Palm Springs to play there?
I haven't, but we're scheduled to go.
Okay. It's so I'll take you in a trip back to yesteryear. That's where it all started, right? 2005, 2006 of the World Series. Smaller city, the desert, beautiful, just a different environment. Vegas is lively. Vegas is Vegas, right? You leave the ball fields and you got Vegas. In Palm Springs, there's not a whole lot else to do besides softball. So the whole kind of the weekend is centered around that complex. So people come back to the complex. It's gorgeous. The hotels are gorgeous. And it's the best weather ever, like in March. It's beautiful out there. So it's just going to be a fun time. So people are asking like what the host hotel is. I put something on the message board. I said, I'm start working on that. I might not officially ink a host hotel because I don't want to be on the hook for it if we get canceled and then hey Jeff, you owe us blah blah blah. I don't want to do that, right? But if you all stay at the I think it's called the DoubleTree, which is the original site of the original World Series. It was called the Doral. Gorgeous hotel, pretty cheap, right down the street from the fields. And it's one of those places where everyone kind of congregates around the pool and then goes to the ball fields.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm getting excited about it now. I've never done a seniors tournament before. So maybe if we get like 12 to 16 teams, it's going to be a good turnout.
I think it's going to be awesome.
And right now we have, or you have 9 teams that are committed, correct? So based on what's on the list on the website. Right.
That sounds about right. I'm assuming we're going to get somebody, I'm guessing maybe a team out of Nevada. I'm guessing maybe 12 teams when it's all said and done.
Well, you got the 9 that are listed as committed. I was looking at other possibilities. I don't know if Hawaii's bringing a team or not. I don't know if you've heard anything from them. And then Mid-Atlantic and Max Elite, usually they each have a team.
Oh yeah, they'll have a team. There's no way. Yeah, so Terry's going to bring a team.
Terry has a team. I know New Jersey usually has a team too. I don't know if they're comboing up or not, but
they'll combo. I think Terry's going to combo with Irvin, so they'll have a team.
That'd be a team there probably. And then Danny Torres, there's he sounds like he's putting a team together from down south. So that sounds like there'll be another from our region.
Maybe not after the ZingBot gets done with.
Man, I was going to say, yeah.
And then that was another thing. I don't think there's any teams on the list that are committed from Arizona, Nevada, Utah division. Or
I think you'll see a team. Somehow there's going to be a team from there. I can't guarantee it, but it just seems with all that talent out there, they're going to put together a team.
Well, that right there, if those all commit as well, that'd be about 14 right there. So
right, so that Utah Arizona region 5-6 hour drive. Yeah. Fly. So they should have a team. Yeah. We'll see.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of experienced ball players out there, and it's not just going to be the smash it, and walk off as much. I think you're going to see a lot of good base hitting, a lot of smart playing. I'm excited for it, man. It's going to be really neat. Hey, just a real quick piece. Check this out, because this is what's happening at BLD here in Texas.
Morning, the popular sports park Big League Dreams in League City has been closed until further notice. The League City Council voted to terminate the contract with Big League Dreams because of, they said, quote, deteriorating conditions, and that included some safety issues. League City is now exploring some other options to make the repairs necessary so they can reopen the facility, but that could take up to 6 months.
That's happening here in League City. So the city decided to end the contract, and you kind of wonder, Jeff, about that, like, how the timing as far as not being able
in Arizona too. They had a 8-field complex in Arizona, and they got in a tiff with the city over it and bailed on that. I don't know who bailed on who, but whatever the case is, they're not in Arizona anymore either. And like I was trying to get them into I love Big League Dreams, right? I like those guys and stuff like that. But I mean, it's tough for them to get into like prime real estate areas. And I'm not sure how it works, but they expect the city to give them the land and then they maintain it. But like in Tustin, Southern California, in the center of Orange County, like that land's worth a lot of money. So they don't want to give it away. They want to sell it, right? So that's why you always see them popping up in like Paris, which is like the Inland Empire, or Cathedral City. You're not going to see them popping up in the heart of like Irvine, right? Which is like the most expensive area of Orange County. Mm-hmm. So yes, I didn't realize that was happening in Texas, but I've not been to either one of those facilities.
Yeah. So just a little something that I thought I'd throw your way since you were mentioning that, and you always wonder about what's going on with the politics of things, but hey, they're not. I know that they're probably hurting right now, and so anyway, that was what was going on here. So I know we have people asking about Waxahachie again, with our keepers of the peace, and one of the things that I wanted to get over this COVID first, and obviously I know people put the dates out, but we were looking at something. I saw that Brad is looking at KC in September, and we were looking at also possibly in September, but there's a couple of dates we're looking at, but I definitely have had a lot of interest in Waxahachie again. So I think it is going to be something that we're going to put on the schedule here soon, to have a talk with a few people and see what we can do. But I'm excited. The interest since the tournament ended has just been, really, really out there. I mean, people continuously asking. So if I think people want it, and it's just a matter of finding the right date, that sweet spot. So September's nice around here, so we'll look into it.
Another thing to add to that, that list, like Jeff, you brought up Cincinnati. There's a few tournaments that weren't on the list because they don't have confirmed dates yet. So Cincinnati being one of them. The other ones, obviously, the possible Waxahachie tournament in September, Kansas City tournament possible in September. I know Wax and Danny Mac are working on a location or date for Chicago at some point. And then also I talked with Matt Green out in Colorado, and they're having problems securing a complex for whatever reason. And it sounds like they're still trying to get something set up for this year, but it sounds like they may push it back till 2022 before they have the first tournament out there. I think Denver, somewhere in the Denver area.
Cool.
Yeah. And as far as one thing I saw that came up on the message board, Jeff, was as far as a single agency tournament, was something about 500 and less or 500 more.
Right. So we've already got, so every time you put rules out within like minutes, people are looking for exceptions to the rules, right, Joe? Because you're on the committee, right? Hey, how about this guy? He's not really a cop, but so it's the same thing with this. So, so we want to, this is finally the first time, so when Dell and I started the World Series, we didn't intend to need a committee to rule on all this. We didn't want a multi-state thing. We wanted individual states, the whole bit. But we had to adapt to the fact that there were already teams in existence. So, for example, the reason we have a multi-state rule for the World Series is specifically because of the DEA combo. And the reason was, and this is, a Homer point of view, but so Dell and I were running the Alliance, and we were all from Orange County, California. Well, the DEA was our big rival at the time, and they had guys from California and Arizona, right? So if we create a World Series and say, hey, you can't bring the Arizona guys, now it looks like, okay, now we're homers, right? So we created, okay, we'll make it 2 states. So right away, a team called Delaware, DAP, I don't know if you guys remember that. So they were the first team that misinterpreted the 2-state rule. They thought it was their state plus 2 states. So they brought 3 states to Vegas. And this is stuff that happened way back in the day. So long story short is we got a do-over. We got a chance to do it right. And obviously Dell's not here, unfortunately, but learning from the lessons I learned from the original World Series is we're going to do it right this time. So when it comes to the Masters division, there's not going to be any exceptions to, hey, we need this guy. These are all brand new teams. Like my team's already got that guy. No, you don't have a team because we've never done this before. And for the single agency, it's the same way. It's like, do you work for that agency or not? Like we've already had people, well, my agency's got 100 and their agency's got 200. So we want to combine and compete. You can't do that. So it's like, so long story short is, so there's 2 divisions. There's the big division, right? The upper is 500 or more sworn. You're playing in the big boys. And then for the lower division, it's 499 or less. What we are allowing for the smaller division is any employee. So it could be part-timers, dispatchers, blah, 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 blah. So, but for the upper division, we want the 500 sworn or more. And that way, I think you really, because there's something to be said about playing with patch to patch. There's one thing when I said, hey, my Alliance team won, and I came back to work and everybody's, hey, good job. And there's like 2 or 3 Tustin guys there. But could you imagine coming back to Tustin PD where I have 150 cops and we just won the World Series with the 14, 15 of us traveled, the camaraderie that would build, that's what we're going for. So yeah that's,
I love it. I love it. I know when we first started out, that was our thing with SA Law. It was all from the same agency. We let very few people in. And when we did, it was, just when we needed people, but it was going to other tournaments. We didn't know about PS.com, but for a long time, we were a single agency, and we took a lot of pride in that. When we go somewhere and we would win or even finish in the top, it was like, dude, these guys are able to pull from all over, and we're strong with our team. So it was a really neat feeling, and it's going to be neat to be able to see that again.
And I don't remember the last time anybody could say that their police agency had the best team in softball. Because, you know what I mean? Like LAPD Blue won it. Like, they got 5 guys in LAPD and then 15 guys from other agencies, right? So And that's fine. I mean, that's the way. That's why our competition level is so high now, right? It's because that's the open division, a different animal.
Yeah.
This is its own animal, and I think it's going to be a lot of pride when it comes down to your own agency. You know, San Antonio against Dallas, or Chicago against Detroit. I think it's going to be. Yeah.
Is there any of the teams, the single agency teams with under 500? Are there any teams under 500 that are asking to play?
No, not yet. No.
Okay, just curious. I didn't know.
So here's the good news though, is because it's in Palm Springs, Cathedral City, whatever, it's within driving distance of all those Southern California agencies. So like when we do the Dell tournament every year, which is a single agency tournament, we get like 14, 15 teams, but they're not the ones that they're not like the rest of us lunatics over softball that discuss over the website and stuff. Like you let them know a couple weeks in advance, they show up, as long as it's like, hey, 1 day, 2 day, we're good with that, So I still think we're going to get, I think Masters will get, 10 to 12 teams. And I think single agency is going to get 10 to 15, 16 teams. Most of them will be uppers. We'll probably get some lowers though, because Southern California's got a ton of police. I mean, you've seen the population of California. It's all within driving distance. So I think it'll be fun.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, we're going to go with the next subject matter that people tuned in for, and that's the 2020 official rankings. And I know that you've had up to 24 teams listed right now, and we're going to show those rankings for those that haven't seen it yet.
I'm sure this is accurate.
Yeah. So let's bring up those. There we go. So this is our rankings, 1 through 24. That's straight off the site. So, man, look at number 13 and number 14.
I would like to see some comments here. Anybody think Thin Blue Line is ranked too low? I would like to see some. I can't read the comments. If they pop up, Trini, let me know. But the word is, I got a lot of feedback that Thin Blue Line should be ahead of Mid-Atlantic, which is interesting.
They had a really good year, man. I mean, Thin Blue Line killed it. I think they ran through the Baltimore tournament and did really well. I think they finished third in Waxahachie. So I mean, they had a solid showing all year. Mid-Atlantic, I don't know that they played as many tournaments as Thin Blue Line, but they were out there, and I know Thin Blue Line finished ahead of Mid-Atlantic in a couple of those tournaments I just talked about, but yeah, I guess here's the deal: no matter what you put, wherever you put somebody, someone's going to complain about it, probably. You know what I mean, or give you negative feedback that this team should be there or this team should be there.
Right.
Please everybody.
Keep in mind too that the rankings, it's not just how they did this, because this past year not a whole lot went on, right? So we always back it up. So our year is not necessarily calendar year; it's October to October. So we consider the previous World Series a lot of times for the rank, and because there was no World Series, the 2019 World Series did have some weight on this. So
yeah. So I know that
with this I-80 cartel, what did this Iowa guys crack the top 10 for the first time ever? That's a big deal.
I see that. Yeah. They got some good young players on the team, man. I've been saying that for the last few years. They can start putting it together. They're going to do some things.
Yeah, I heard the Minnesota guys are scouting them pretty hard, so it should help Minnesota out.
They definitely like their Iowa guys.
One of the things that comes with these rankings, for those that don't know, is an unfiltered view of things that are going on within the circuit. So for that insight, we're somebody called the ZingBot. And if you don't know who the ZingBot is, that's who he is. And for those that have never heard about the ZingBot, this robot, this bot, he just comes out with stuff that cracks me the hell up. And we have our rankings, like I said, to 24 teams, but we're going to give a little airtime to the ZingBot. So what do we got 1 through third? Who's the first through third teams there? Let's bring them up again. So we got Great Lakes, New York, and DEA. Well, the ZingBot had some comments on everybody through the 24th, but we've got, let's see here, 4, 5, and 6. If you want a little taste of what the ZingBot does, check this one out.
Number 4, The Connection. The connection made a wise move by dropping the name SinCal to break the jinx, because the top SoCal teams have been beating them more often than the Harlem Globetrotters beat the Washington Generals. Number 5. Mid-Atlantic. I received an anonymous letter that I will read to you. Mid-Atlantic will never win unless that blowhard Terry Dugan stops nominating his buffet table buddies into the Hall of Fame and instead nominates the most deserving player from Virginia, the Hit Dog. Signed, the Hit Dog. Number 6. Thin Blue Line. The Thin Blue Line youngsters talk so much crap that leader Jim Smith has to wear hip waders to get into the dugout. When they lose, it is like watching a class of kindergartners being told they are last in the lunch line. Until they learn some respect, Majors teams will have them dining on humble pie all year.
Oh man, I love that thing.
There was some question whether or not people enjoy the ZingBot. I'm sure there's probably a couple people out there that are offended by it, but I'd say the majority. If there was a like button or something like that, like there is on most social media, if there's a like button on the I think there'd be a lot of likes for each one of the ZingBot posts.
They're getting better.
Oh my goodness. Well, and here's an example of that. So who's on 7, 8, and 9? Let's see. Who's
Number 7, LAPD Blue. The Blue just announced the signing of yet another major softball player. Are we supposed to be scared? Like we are all quivering in our boots now? How come we never actually see any of these guys? With all these sick pickups, how come we see the same 10 jabronis every month? Message to Braun and Delgado. You can sign the entire LA Dodgers squad, but if they don't show up, they won't help you win. Number 8, Minnesota. Better hope you don't run into Lambert and Benji in the bar, because you know they will be playing the song Glory Days by Springsteen on the jukebox and talking about how many championships they won 2 decades ago. Remember those days? No, me neither. Number 9, Max Elite. They are the best regular season team around, but come World Series time they have folded like origami. They finally got dialed in and now the wheels fell off. Irvin, you have rebuilding to do.
I love that with the Benji, and oh my God. Oh, I could see him.
Only the ZingBot can get away with calling the 10 LAPD guys jabronis.
Oh man, that's jabronis. So we have, that was 7, 8, and 9. Let's bring that list up again. So we're going to go from 7, 8, and 9. Let's bring the list up. All right. So we've got 10, 11, and 12, which was I-80, the Shield in North Florida. And we're going to go ahead and skip on to 13, 14, and 15. And that's, you don't know, San Antonio Law and St. Louis are on the air right now. So let's see what the ZingBot had to say.
For 13, San Antonio. What these guys lack in softball talent, they make up for in peddling pyramid schemes. I attended a tourney they hosted and bought a raffle ticket. I won a prize that required I sit through a presentation. An hour later I purchased a timeshare condo on South Padre Island, number 14, Missouri. Here is a letter to Santa that fell into my hands. Dear Santa, will you please tell Big Joe to cut all the overrated Oklahoma players from his roster to instead combo with Kansas so he can add one of the best pitchers in the nation, me. Signed, Brad Johnson, number 15, Kentucky Blue. This could be the most dysfunctional team in the nation. I call it analysis paralysis, as they are always working angles using new managers and new combos. They need to follow the blueprint of their predecessors, the Bluegrass Lawmen. Those hillbillies simply showed up, smashed the ball, the booze, and won games.
Oh,
that's good. I like it.
Oh God, when I heard
There's
that,
a top 10 coming up for San Antonio. There's a small fee involved, but we'll get to that later.
man, that was hilarious, man. I love it. I don't know where the ZingBot gets his writer. I don't know who his writer is, but holy smokes, that guy's got some great insight, man.
Joe, now all the Oklahoma guys have left you. Why not pick up Brad?
Well, Brad he pretty much runs the Kansas City team. If he comes over to St. Louis side, Kansas City's going to fall apart, man.
Oh, all right.
Brad's the glue that holds that team together at this point.
Out of the goodness of your heart, you're not picking up Brad. That's good. Thank you.
Well, just so you know, Brad is going to be playing with me and Trini this year, but it's going to be on the Masters team. He'll be on our Louisville Slugger team.
All right.
Yeah. So that was 13, 14, 15. Let's bring up that list again because the ZingBot's going to be commenting on the newest. So let's see here. We got the Border Patrol, Northern Lawmen, Maryland Outlaws. They were on there. Silver Stars, Nassau Blues, State 48 Syndicate, Stanislaus, Angel Armor, and Miami Metro Dogs. That rounds out the 25. And let's see. I think we've got 25, 26, and 27 that's going to be debuting. Is that right?
Yes, that's not live yet on the website. So it's going to be debuted right now, right here for the first time. For your eyes only. So no one else has seen it yet.
Very nice. So we're adding on 3 to the rankings. Let's go to it, ZingBot.
Number 25. Team Galvez. I like these guys because they always ask to play majors and seek out the best competition. They have the heart of a lion. Unfortunately, based on the dismal results, they have proven to be brave, but not very smart. Number 26. LAPD Shot Callers. They should change their name to the other guys. I hear players asking their coaches about who they are playing next. When he answers LAPD, the players get intimidated and mention that they are the best team in the nation. Then the coach assures them, no, we will be okay, it's just the other guys. Number 27. Lone Star. These guys might be good if they focused on softball. Instead, Coach Danny Torres has more behind-the-scenes shenanigans going on than an episode of Breaking Bad. His latest boondoggle was to create the Texas Police Softball Hall of Fame, appoint himself as commissioner, and then enshrine all his buddies and sponsors into it.
Where does the ZingBot come up with this information? Inside information.
A boondoggle. Never heard that term before. It's funny.
Oh my God, man. I like that he enshrined all of his buddies and his sponsors.
That ZingBot, man, he's good.
He is good. Like I said,
true hats off to Danny. I mean, you create something, you appoint yourself the leader of that something, and then name all your buddies in there, and then it's good. Hats off to him. It's ingenious.
I might try that in St. Louis.
I'll tell you what, that ZingBot, I hope he doesn't go anywhere, man. I mean, that dude he brings a lot of laughs, man. I really was cracking up. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear the rest of them.
I hope, Trini, no one's feelings get hurt. I mean, some of the comments are pretty caustic. So but at the same time,
there's some emotional people on this circuit, man. You should know that by now.
I mean, the time is bad right now because the cops are getting beat up every which way. But man, I would hope that we can all laugh at ourselves. I mean, for example, the LAPD Blue. Come on, they're the best team. I mean, they're amazing, right? It's funny to call them jabronis, and it's like laugh at yourselves. Like let's have fun with this. Because if we're not having fun, then what are we out here doing?
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where you when you think about this, I mean, it's where else do you get anything like this, man? You just don't get this anywhere else. And that's what I enjoy about highlighting, our circuit is not only the friendships, the camaraderie that's experienced when you're out there in the environment, whether it be in the opening ceremonies at the home run derby, we bring in these pros to come out to swing away so you can see that long ball. These guys just make it look effortless. I mean, it's just such a neat thing to be a part of. And it's something that, again, for me, I didn't experience anything. Our team didn't experience anything like this until later on, quite a while after we, even found out about the Vegas, the police games that you had in Vegas. That was our thing. That was our big thing. So, just having something like the ZingBot is just out there that you just aren't going to find anywhere else. And I think it's absolutely hilarious. And I think it's a wonderful thing to have. I'm excited to hear the rest of it.
Well, yeah, the only reason the ZingBot stopped for a little bit is it didn't seem like anybody's looking at it. So if you post an information, it's on Facebook, it says we're 10 people looked at it. If only 10 people looked at this thing, what's the point in doing it? But then I started getting text messages and stuff like that. So I think people, and like a lot of people said, it's the off season right now. So, and you know what I mean? So as long as people enjoy it rather than like just dismiss it, then it's worth its while. Cause
I guarantee you they enjoy it, man. I guarantee it's I for one am not one that gets a lot on the message board. And there are times where I can go a good while and not be on there, and I got to go through and just catch up, you know? So, and it seems almost like, do I even comment? It's been a while, but, you know, definitely on something like this, I'd encourage anyone that, you know, gets an opportunity to go to ps.com, to be able to go to our message board, and to be able to check out the message board, man. It's just a lot of great information. You get information like, you know, an officer that's in need. You get information on, you know, different programs that are out there that they're trying to build up and they need some help. You know, it's just a ton of great information. So it's not even all just softball. It's a lot of just ways to keep in contact with what's going on, kind of keeping a pulse on things that are going on amongst our, you know, our agencies and players, you know, and families. So I know that at one point somebody put something about with me going through what I was going through, and it was huge to be able to have the support from the circuit. It was a huge thing. So it's a wonderful site. It's a wonderful organization, and the ZingBot just makes it fun. So
you know, yeah, like I said, I sit here on the couch and as I'm typing this stuff, I'm like laughing, right? I eat a few beers deep, right? And but then every once in a while I think, am I the only guy laughing? Like do I really find this funny? So, but I know you guys like it, so I don't need like 100 people. Hey, that's funny. Blah 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 blah. As long as I'm not completely missing the mark, because you know. But it seems like that most of the guys seem to enjoy it. Some of the guys may not when they get their name mentioned. But
it needs to hang around. It's good. It's good for the.
I just did another 3, and you're going to enjoy this one because we'll just put it this way: the code 3 will be involved in the next one.
Ooh, nice.
Benjamin and Potter.
Nice. It'll be interesting. Well, I know we have some new teams and moving players around. So, Joe, you want to take the lead on that?
Yeah. So there's been a shakeup in a few different areas out on the East Coast and Midwest, I guess. I don't know much about any kind of shakeups out west. Jeff, you may be able to help me out with that. But as far as the East goes, you got Max Elite and the Hounds kind of. Few guys jumped ship, I guess, or left or decided to go over to the Hounds. Dave Massey, Jordan Bruce went over to join the Hounds, which I don't know, you know, typically the Hounds have about 10 guys sitting on their bench every game. They got a lot of guys on the team. Now they're adding 3 more. So I don't know how that's going to all pan out. I don't know if some of the guys are on the Hounds left and went to Nassau or anything like that, or Suffolk. I haven't talked to anyone to verify any of that, but I do know that Irvin has picked up a few guys, a couple from New Jersey, one from Pennsylvania, to kind of replace the guys that he had lost. So while you know, sounds like Jimmy Walters is making some moves, Johnny Irvin is also you know, countering those moves out there as well to replace the guys that he lost. Another one out on, or I guess in the Midwest, East Coast, whatever you want to call it, the MO50 kind of folded into Kentucky Blue, and they're going to have a huge roster. They got about 23 guys listed on the site now. Camper and Abrams came together to put together a team, and with Ohio and Kentucky guys. And I know one of them listed on that list is Matt Marksberry, and I talked with him a couple weeks back, and he's still having some issues with his back, and he told me that he's not sure if he's going to be able to play right away, but when he does come back, that he's going to try to slide into the pitcher role. So I don't know how that's going to work out for them, but I also, you know, MO50 had some Michigan guys, and word is that they're, you know, kind of splitting up between Detroit PSC and maybe a couple going to Great Lakes. I haven't confirmed any of that stuff, but that's just what I've heard. Another one involves my team, which is, you know, it's kind of been a couple years in the making. Justin Beal, Jerry Whelan, Tyler Cox played with us the last several years. And there's just a lot of guys in Oklahoma that want to play ball. And I just don't see it I just don't want to have 30 guys on a team. So basically, the Oklahoma guys have been playing with Missouri for the last several years, broke off. They started up Oklahoma Outlaws. Now they got Beal, Cox, and Jerry, who are kind of, the team's going to be, they're going to be kind of the nucleus of the team. Cliff Stevens, who filled in with Missouri Lawmen. Roy Smith, he's filled in with Missouri Lawmen a couple times. Those guys are also going to be playing with them. And then Paul Traeger, who has played in the police circuit, not with us, but I guess this is before I was playing in the circuit. Jeff, you might tell me what years this was, but there was a Secret Service team.
Yeah.
Okay, so
06, 07, and then they were about done after that. Yeah.
Okay, so he played in the early 2000s, I guess, with the Secret Service team. He's Secret Service in Tulsa. So he's going to be playing with them. So that's 6 guys that have played, in the circuit that are going to be playing on that team. Now there's another 10 guys that are on the team that have never played, tourney ball before. So a lot of them have experience in baseball, whether it's minors or Division I ball or whatever. But they still, don't have much experience in the softball world. So we'll see how that translates. My guess is, based on talking to Beal, that they'll probably be a mid to upper gold team, I would guess. Just based on the lack of experience. The way he explains it is that they're going to have a really good offense. These guys should be able to hit the shit out of the ball based on what he's saying. But he also said that they have a lot of first base catcher type guys, corner infielders, and doesn't know how that's going to translate to defense wise and stopping runs. So it sounds like he's putting together a team. I think that's good for the circuit, getting another team out there, and we'll see how things pan out this year. I know they got 3 tournaments on the schedule. They'll be coming to St. Louis, playing in Tulsa for the All Forces tournament down there, and then going to Vegas is their plan. So looking forward to seeing how that team turns out. And Jeff also, what did I say? What did I ask you early that you may be able to? Oh, the West Coast. Was there any
guys? Yeah.
Anything out west?
Yeah, so it's closer to you, but Team Texas is not the same Team Texas that we knew of the past. They're kind of rebuilding. They have merged with, help me out here, one of the Texas Guns. Texas Guns and Team Texas are now the same in their Team Texas, but a lot of the guys who were going to leave and go to other teams actually came back, so they might be better than we thought they were going to be. And then out west, we got that new Sin City Saints team coming in. And a lot of those guys played on Sin City Combo, and it just goes to show you how fast things change. Joe, were you around when Sin City Combo was a big power in police softball just a few years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so those guys can be really good. The key to that team was always been the pitcher Keith Habig, who's pitching for the LAPD Blue. I'm not sure if that's still – I assume he's still going to be the pitcher because he's tight with Snyder and Harriman and those guys. But if somehow they could get like a Habig or something to get that team back together, they're going to be really good, because that team was those guys were like the old Sin City Combo. Like, they had no true superstar other than Haber. They didn't have any superstars, but together they played really well. They were like the old Minnesota Twins of the 90s, where the sum was greater than their parts. Yep. And then out west, LAPD Blue, they're always LAPD. Come on, right? So they get guys they don't have to go recruit people, because the best guys want to go play for the best team. So they mutually seek each other out. I don't think there's any brand new teams starting in California or the West Coast. I think you're going to see more of the same. And this year's been the slowest year for team hopping. And I think it's because there was not a whole lot of tournaments, so people don't talk as much. So I have not seen nearly as much team hopping.
Okay. Well, good deal. Yeah, that's not normal for the West Coast. Typically it's all over the board at the end of the year. You got 5 guys going here, 5 guys going there, and a couple guys here, a couple guys there. But yeah, like you said, with the lack of tournaments last year, maybe that just had an effect on that.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, I think that's great. We're at an hour and 4 minutes, and that ZingBot was awesome. Being able to go over the rankings, being able to talk about the tournaments. We're going to post those tournaments. If you have a tournament, you get your date, make sure you send us something so that way we can post it, get it up there, and that way people know about it. We'll be talking about Waxahachie here shortly in the near future. And then we're hoping that everything goes well with our masters and our, with our single agency. I mean, that's going to be a great thing, and I'm super excited for it. So, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us again, dude. It's not the same without you, and you bring a lot of insight in. And again, that ZingBot, man, I mean, I'd love to be able to, keep reviewing those things and ultimately be able to highlight anything else we got going on in the circuit, and in an effort to get these teams to come out and experience what it is that we all love, about this circuit.
I think the ZingBot is going to be giving out some Christmas gifts tomorrow. Some really some late or early Christmas gifts tomorrow. So tune in, and I'll post the latest ones that you just ran, and then I got another set tomorrow to run. So thank you.
Good deal.
All right, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for joining us, brother. Yeah. All right, Joe. Well, that's a great show, I think, to kick off the year, 2021, and it was a neat thing to be able to view all these things. Ultimately, we want to be able to continue to bring these things along with different sponsors, different highlights for players throughout the circuit. I really want to concentrate on that this year, also being able to highlight some neat players who are doing some things off the field, not just on the field. So if you guys got anybody that's doing some wonderful things off the field, please let us know. Send us a little something, and give us the opportunity to highlight, these guys that are out there, guys or gals that are out there doing some great things in the circuit. So, Joe, any final thoughts?
No, just hoping that this year is a little different than last year, and that 2021 turns out to less cancellations and things start opening up and less what do you call it, just I'm just hoping 2021 turns out to be a better year than last year, and starting with Tampa, the Brian Hazelton and the DEA kickoff. I hope they both go off no problems and starts off the year, and we go through with no issues throughout the year.
Yep. Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you once again, Joe. It's not the same without you, for sure. And I appreciate it. Keep the stash. I like it. And we'll get with you guys later. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe at Trini Trinidad. That'll be a great thing to be able to help us out to continue to bring you these things, and also to be able to bring sponsors on board. I know these sponsors are really interested in being a part of the program. So make sure you head to YouTube, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and we really appreciate it. Love you guys. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.